Okay, so Chiddush in the Pasha Truma. This is the reason why the Torah tells you the 13 or the 15 details of the matters of the Truma, pick up the Mishkan, for the work of the Mishkan. Because the avoda of a person to transform the world to a dwelling place for Hashem, Ari avoda of Aliyah shel kol chelik shel olam, everything you have to elevate in the world is you do it in a different way. Sug shoneh shel truma, a different type of truma, whether in the parsha, in the separation or in the elevation of the truma. According to this, we can understand why the Torah tells you first, Vaikuli truma, take from me the truma, before it says Vasuli Migdash. Okay, we had the whole question yesterday. Why is the name of the parsha Truma? Because the main chiddush of the parsha is the tachlis of making Hashem a dwelling place by building the Mishkan that is done through a person's actions, from the order of light to heavy, which is first separating the Truma, and afterwards the Migdash. Through this specifically, mitmameshet hatachlit hamushlemet shel brit olam. Through this specifically, we actually come to the full completion of the purpose of the world. And this is the concept of Truma, which is that the Shekhinah is going to rest through hafrashat adam ba'ofanel, by a person separating in this matter. Lachar shesharta Shekhinah bizman matan Torah mitzara bores. So when Matan Torah happened, the Shekhinah came down from Hashem's side first. Hashem said, I'm going to start, and then Hashem went down to Har Sinai, Moshe went up, right? Davka be'emzeut avoda, but specifically through the avoda, then the Ika Shekhinah comes down, which means that when it comes in our effort to the Truma, then it's able to bring down the Ika Shekhinah. Because it says, even the Gemara, everyone knows, right? Masechet Sukkah, Daf Hey, brings down that when Hashem went down, and it says the Shekhinah never went down, so it says it's above 10 tefachim. So then it go all the way down. Okay, Mikach Buvan Gam Adua Nikrat the Parsha B'Shem Truma. Now we can understand why the Parsha is called Truma, because the completion and the elevation of all the 10 Trumos is the way it gets expressed in our Parsha, that through the Truma, which means separation and elevation, you make the Mishkan, which is the Shekhinah coming down through a person's actions. Okay. According to this explanation, we can understand how the building of the Mishkan is by itself. Not only a preparation for the base of Migdash, which is going to be eternal, because the Torah is eternal. We had the question is, why did the Torah tell you about the Mishkan if the Mishkan is only temporary, and we're saying it's just a preparation for the Migdash, which is eternal, but if it's in the Torah, that means it means something for us now, eternally also. So what's the lesson of how the Mishkan is eternal? Hatchalat avodah hamata v'hatruma davka be'edzu. This avoda of the lower part starting first, which is the truma that we have in our times, not only because it was after Matan Torah, because this is the sign that the Shekhinah is going up. Because therefore we cannot feel in a revealed way the Hashem coming down to Har Sinai. But really we also have the Mishkan in the Midbar. What does that mean? The word Midbar, means desert. But it says it's a place or a situation that it says Lo Yashav Adam Sham. It says a place where no man has dwelt. That's what a desert is. So, and what does it say? Al pi pnimis unyanim. It says no man. It means that Adam HaElyon, that's on the chair didn't go there. What does that mean? Which means there's no place, it's not a place of revealed godliness. That's what a desert represents. In a way of yishuv, the word yishuv means to settle and dwell in something, so therefore godliness didn't dwell there in the same way. But a city is a place of people dwellings. That means city represents revelation of godliness, which is where Adam Elyon could dwell. And this is the general difference between the Mishkan and the Mikdash in Yerushalayim. The Beit HaMikdash, Nivnei Lacha Sheba Yisrael El Menucha Ve'al Nachala. The Beit HaMikdash was built after we came to peace and serenity. Kasher Yatzu Min HaMidbar, we left the desert and they came to a place of a yishuv of people. Who Nivnei Be'eretz was built in Eretz Yisrael, in which the pasuk says, Tamid Einei Hashem Elokecha Ba, that always the eyes of God are on it from the beginning of the year till the end of the year. And in Eretz Yisrael itself, in Yerushalayim, which is the place of Yirat Shalem, as everyone knows, the complete Yira, and it's the Shar Shamayim. So the Mikdash, which is the dwelling place for God's essence, the Shar Osim B'dvarim Tachtonim, we make them lower things. Hu'enenu Eifo Totzah Shel Avat Adam Bilvad. It's not only a person's work alone, but actually, Gam Bitzad Asher Yivchar B'chirat, it's from Hashem's choice that decides to dwell and transform the place into a godly place. But in a midbar, that's not a place where people live, and therefore it's not a kli for godliness, and it's really a midbar ha'amim. It's a place of, like a desert. It's a place where you have snakes and scorpions and things like that, and you have thirst. Once you don't have water, over there you make the Mishkan, okay? So that's when you transform that place to a dwelling place for Hashem. It's only because of a person's avoda by himself, and that's the inyan of the Truma, as we explained. So therefore, specifically in the Mikdash Hamidbar, we learn Horah, and it gives us a power that also in the time of Galus, in which we don't see the Midbar Ha'amim Shalanu, we don't have revealed godliness. It's really a lot of darkness right now. In this type of situation, you could also build a Mishkan and Hashem could dwell in it. So now, what we said above, we can understand why we're learning the mitzvah of the Mikdash specifically from the Mishkan. Okay, the question was, the Mishkan is temporary, we're never going to use it forever. So now we can understand why. The chiddush of the Shechina dwelling in the Mikdash in relation to Matan Torah is as a result of a person's avoda. And this concept, Haya Galu Yoter Davka Mishkan Midbar, was specifically more revealed in the Mishkan and the Midbar. And from this we learn that this is the main thing even in the Mikdash. Now we can understand what the Rambam says when he calls the Mishkan the Mikdash Hamidbar. In Halacha, it says, Hakol chayavim livnot v'lese'ed ba'atzmam. The Halacha is everyone is obligated to build and to help with by themselves and with their money, men and women, like the Mikdash Hamidbar. He says, like what he calls the Mishkan, the Mikdash Hamidbar. Okay, Lamarot shebehalacha kodemet ein hu mivateh b'kinu midlishmula. Even though in the previous halacha on the Ram, he doesn't call it the Mikdash Hamidbar. So therefore, is that a person's avoda is called truma, which is building the Beis Hamikdash to help themselves and with their money. This stems out from the Mikdash Hamidbar, in which no man dwells in the Midbar, meaning there's no revelation of godliness there, and the Mishkan comes out and gets built as a result of a person's avoda, like we said above.
But it's a kind of contradiction. That's where we got the revelation was the Midbar.
Well, after you built it was, but before.
Yeah,
but that wasn't, and then afterwards they were in the desert for 40 years, so they had to make a Mishkan for Hashem's dwelling. Without that, they would be considered the Chor, yeah. That's so, yeah. This is the lesson that we learned from the Mishkan and the Truma of the Avoda Ruchnias of everyone in this situation. that sometimes a person is concerned about himself, that he's in a situation called midbar. There's no revelation. He doesn't have revelation of godliness. And therefore, he's going to come to despair. So therefore, they tell him they even have a mikdash in the midbar, which means that when it says, Asuli mikdash v'shanta b'tocham, Yitchil v'yitkayam b'poel b'mishkan shel Yisrael, that happened when the Jews were in the desert. And therefore, even in the state where there's no revelation, he could still reveal things. So when a Jew builds the Mishkan, specifically when he's in a spiritual state of a midbar, therefore he gets more light that comes from darkness, and he comes to the level of midbar de kedusha, and to the level of kilo adam hu, he goes beyond man, that's even beyond Adam Elyon. Okay, now